Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And we are back. Steve Mortland here, Tom Glithero to my left, and we have got a really exciting show coming up tonight. Somewhat bizarre conditions out at the racetrack over the weekend with a lot of smoke in the air. Thankfully, it's finally getting cleared out. But we're starting to get down to crunch time, Tom, where points are really starting to count, and a whole bunch of things are going on in between the ears of a lot of racers.
No, you're right, because people are running out of money. They're running out of time. As you say, that points battle getting more and more tight. And if you're gonna get even with anybody who's done you wrong this year, you're running out of nights. But sprint cars tonight, my favorite.
Yeah.
I love open wheel cars. There is nothing cooler than sliding down the seat of an open wheel car. No doors, no windshields to block your view. You're out there, and once you get in that car, you got a drive shaft right between your legs. So you got to throttle with the right, got to use your left foot on the brake. There's no way you can transfer it. You don't get into a sprint car or midget. You put it on. You wear it.
Yeah, it's not graceful, and it's not pretty by any stretch.
They are cool.
But they are so much fun. We also have our Interstate Battery Hornets with us. We also have our Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s. Our Evergreen Speedway Legends are here, the NASCAR Mini Stocks, and as Tom mentioned, our Granite Construction Super Sprint Car Series. Always start off the show by getting to know a lot of the racers in the pits, and to do that, we're going to call on our friend Brandy Chavez, who's got some interviews.
All right, Jimmy Absher of the Mini Stocks of number 26. Now, today you're out with a new car. Tell us about that.
So last race I had a little bit of mishaps with my spotter, and I ended up hitting our points leader. So instead of hurry up rushing it, I've been talking with a good man, John, at J2 Racing Parts, and he let me borrow his car from the night. He let me run my number on it, so let's see what tonight brings. Should be a fun night.
How do you feel about the conditions since last time out it was blazing hot?
Oh, it's hard to get used to the tires because they fluctuate so much. So, and I went from a rear-wheel drive car to a front-wheel drive car, so I'm really trying to learn it real quick.
And who do you want to shout out for getting you to the track today?
Of course, J2Parts.com. Michelle Torset with the Torset Group, the AAA Excavation, Above Advanced Designs, CNC Construction, and TLC Auto Detailing. They all work really hard to get me here.
All right, Jimmy, have a good race tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, the 22S car of Bo Stevenson and the Legends. How do you feel about the conditions after such a blazing hot race last time out?
Well, if the rain could stay away, it would be a big help. Our schedule's kind of been moved around a little bit today, and it's gonna be a race to watch, definitely, because the weather doesn't look that great for our main, and so it's gonna be a good one. So we can't wait. So.
And the car count keeps going up and up with Legend cars. What do you attribute that to?
Honestly, it's the Legends is the Legend class itself is a class that everybody wants to try. I don't know. It just seems like there's more and more cars that just keep coming out, and there's new guys. There's a few new guys out here today, and we love it. Every single one of us love it. So.
And who do you want to thank for getting you out to the track today?
First off, I want to thank my sponsors, Beauty on Broadway, and they've been a great help. And then my family, want to really thank them. They've been a really big help to get me out here, and really want to give a big shout out to my newly born daughter. She's I wouldn't say newly. She's almost 5 months, and she's a big inspiration to me, and I love that little girl with all my heart, and she helps me getting out here, believe it or not. It's really nice.
All right, have a great race tonight. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, John Newbon, driver of the 13 Hornet car. Not many people know you took a little hiatus from racing. What brought you back?
I like to be able to come back and work with a lot of my friends, just have a good time away from work and just relax, and completely different atmosphere out here when we're racing, having a good time. A lot of good friends.
How do you feel about the conditions today?
I think the conditions are pretty crazy, but we have to deal with what we have dealt with us, so we're making good with what we have.
And you have a list of sponsors to read off. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who got you out to the track here today?
First of all, I'd like to thank Dave Mergenthaler, Chris Propek, Gene Mullane, my wife for allowing me to come out, Rico's Pizza, Man Petroleum, 2.5 Men Barbecue, Richter Farms, Hager Motorsports, and yeah, my wife for sure, Alicia.
All right, thank you, John Newbaum, looking for every point he can get. Pro 4 truck driver Greg Vaughn of the number 9. How do you feel about these conditions out here today?
So we're glad it's not raining, right? It was raining in practice and it was really slippery, but track's drying up. The sprint cars went first and dried it up for us really well, so I was having a good time. Fast, very fast.
And you also race with your 2 sons out here. How does that feel, having the family out here on the track with you?
It's awesome. So it's a family sport, there's no doubt about that. We started in the Hornet cars a couple years ago. We all moved up to the Pro 4 trucks. So I have the 9 truck, Michael Vaughn is the 83 truck, and Stephen Vaughn, our oldest, is the 44 truck. So it's a family affair. We spend a lot of time in the garage together.
And who do you want to thank for getting Team Vaughn to the track today?
So Rick Schaefer of the 43 truck has been phenomenal. Without him, we'd never make it. Hat Trick Northwest is one of our sponsors. They've been great. Been with us for a couple of years. Central Welding, and I don't know, that's about it. That's all I can remember.
All right.
But without them, we wouldn't be able to go racing.
All right. Thanks so much, Greg. Have a good luck race tonight.
Thanks for having us.
And we are back, and good job, Brandy, getting to know a lot of really cool people down there. We're going to do a Hornet B main event. That's because there's so many of them that came into the pits today. So let's bring you the lineup. In the 025 car is Brent Gillespie in the 23X. From Whitewall Brewing Company is Mariella Brock. In the 163 car is Annika Duncan. Ryan Hausenfluck is in the 33 car. Ryan brought to you by Buck Smith Trucking. Lucas Hausenfluck in the 03 brought to you by Cornerstone Homes. Cassidy Sunholm brought to you by DeYoung Inc. is in the 19C. Dylan Frazier in the 47. He's sponsored by Gearhead Garage. The 319 of Burt Jacobs by AAA Torset Excavating.
In row 5, we've got Michael Duncan in the 23 car. Outside of him, in the Reflection on Perfection car, it's the 15 of Matt Snyder. In row 6, the 98X of Tom Hibbs. He's sponsored by Bennett Design Construction. And outside of him in the 007 is Jumbo Jimmy Powers. And rounding out the field is the 19C of Cassidy Sunholm, and she's sponsored by DeYoung Inc.
And this is another one of those names, and I know this is the broken record part of our show, but and it's so important to bring this up, but here we go with another great family that's been out here forever out at Evergreen Speedway, and that's the Sunholms. And we've got 2 of them in this race, and we are underway. Green flag is out for 15 laps. Top 4 can move up to the A-main event later on tonight if they so choose to. But for now, we got to get those 4 cars picked out. So there is your field as they are on our road course. You'll see them going down the back stretch, coming just off of turn number 2 on 3/8 all the way down around the corner. And then they will make that move out into the figure 8 course. And that kind of constitutes 1 lap right there. Trent Gillespie is leading this thing as he heads into turn 1, and he is leading it by a ton. And look at how much, he may not be for much longer based on what's pouring out the back end of that 025 car. Not looking too good.
Well, if you see Cassidy Sunholm dead last at the start and conclusion of 1 lap all the way up to 2nd spot. These B mains, though, they're really cool. They're great for the drivers because, you know, when you get somebody maybe who's just getting started or car's not quite up to speed and they're out there in the A main, you're not racing sometimes. You're just hanging on, hoping you don't get killed or run over. When you get with cars about like speed and like experience, this is where they're going to learn to be good race car drivers.
Yeah, and they've got 15 laps to prove their mettle on this one, and still fair amount of smoke coming out of the back end of the 025 of Gillespie at 24,461. Just absolutely making a mockery of this race later on. We'll see how long he lasts as the cars. There isn't enough smoke up in the air. There's certainly plenty hanging around on the track, but that we know where that one's coming from. Royce Tanner in 23 is in the second spot. Lucas Hausenfluck has dropped back into position 3. Annika Duncan and Dylan Frazier in the 47 round out the top 5 as first race of the day. So kind of, you know, some jitters here, but guys are going to move up into the big A main event coming up. Interstate Battery is bringing you this division as they have since virtually day one, and that's so cool to see.
And as holds true for us, we say something nice about a racer. Cassie Soundholm, off the track she went, so she went from the back row to the second spot, now in the pits. So we do it one more time. Sorry, Cassie.
That's all right, Cassie. We should probably do something at the end of the season to make good for all these people whose days we've ruined by bringing them out. But it's a fun part of it. We have got 10 laps to go for our Interstate Battery Hornet B main event coming up later on tonight. We'll do 30 laps for most of our main events. And boy, I just can't get over trying to figure out how the smoke is coming out of that thing, if he's hitting when the big belch of it comes out, and whether he's doing it by hitting the gas or whether it's brakes or what it is. But
it's just spraying for mosquitoes. I'm going to take care of that. But Gillespie running very, very consistent laps and maintaining a nice lead over the 23 of Royce Tanner and Lucas Hausenfluck, in the 03 in that third position.
And you see them just coming on into turn number 1 on our modified road course, one of a couple that we've used this year. I'm glad they went back to this one. I like this one a lot better. It takes that short access road that kind of leads you up onto from turn 3 of the 5th mile flat track up to turn 3 of the 3/8. You just see it right there. That little short chunk of concrete there has really caused a lot of problems for a fair amount of people when they've used that. But it's still fun to kind of throw it in there, mix things up a little bit. There's the 15 car going right by Matt Snyder. Good shot of that nice looking car. And they're making their way that 98 brought to you by Bennett Design Construction. Sure, a sharp looking ride too. And pretty cool of Tom Hibbs to be back out there running that thing. So coming up on the 5 lap to go segment, it's been the Trent Gillespie show all race long.
You know, Steve, kudos to the Evergreen Speedway staff. Rain earlier in the morning, and if you look around that racetrack, it's dry, other than there's a little puddle right on the inside right there as they come off of turn 2 of the 3/8. But track conditions are pretty darn good considering the amount of rain that happened earlier in the morning.
Yes, I agree. It's a good looking racetrack, and we kind of had to move some things out because there was a threat of rain. You won't kind of see it so much tonight because we can kind of put it in order on the TV side of things. But I think it was just a brilliant move. Let's get these main events out of the way for the sprint cars, for the Northwest trucks, so they can at least get on TV, get seen, and get their races in, because it's important to do.
And as you pointed out, it's points crush time. You know, it's time for that. So if you lose your main event tonight, then if you're in second, third, or fourth, man, it just kills you to lose that. So hats off to everybody getting those main events out, getting them done. Just like this one, just 4 laps left to go. And Trent Gillespie, you put that in. The top 4 can move up to the A main, get a lot of racing tonight. That's good for them.
Yeah, it is. Like Tom mentioned, Trent Gillespie leading it over Royce Tanner and Lucas Hausenfluck. Dylan Frazier in the 4th. Tom Hibbs in the Bennett Design Construction number 90X car has moved up. Back there, you see the 98 right there, and that may have been a spot where we can put him up into position number 4. As they looking real good going into the backstretch of the 3/8 with laps winding down.
And we just got a couple of laps, and all Trent's hoping is there's enough oil left in that motor for just 2 more laps.
That's all I need.
And it's going to be a question whether he want to take that car up to the A main, because it may not last 32 or 31 and a half more laps throughout the evening. But that's his problem. That's his decision.
That's right.
And he's got all week to maybe fix that baby up.
And he'll make the right one. We got a car off the course there. Didn't quite catch the number of it, as it looks like our leader, Gillespie, as the white flag is out. We're going to wrap this baby up, and we'll know when they come out for the A main event later on tonight who's going to take the move up and who is going to get the B main trophy as they come out of turn number 4 on the 3/8. Comes across the line right there, checkered flag out. And there you go. Trent Gillespie picks up the win. Royce Tanner, Tom Hibbs, and Lucas Hausenfluck will make the choice to move up here if they so choose to. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more from Evergreen Speedway.